Believe in Bigfoot? Dogman? Any cryptid? Are you skeptical?
Curious about the supernatural, conspiracy theories, the unknown? Then come join us as we explore facts, tall tales, and encounters on Creatures and Curiosities.
Hello and welcome to Creatures and Curiosities. I'm David.
And I'm Jake.
And in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about kind of an elusive little creature. It hasn't been seen a whole lot. But
not much on him.
Yeah, it's called the Fresno Nightcrawler. And I think we'll start, as we normally do, with a description and then kind of get into the origin of how this guy came to be.
Yeah.
So the Fresno Nightcrawler, he appears to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 feet tall. Most of his height is made up of legs.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funky looking little creature, but in the videos, the upper body lacks any kind of detail at all and is therefore hard to describe, but it appears to be kind of thin, white in color with no arms. It may or may not have a small humanoid-like head that sits directly on, well, it's kind of a lack of a torso. It kind of just sits right on top of the legs.
Yeah.
But we'll refer to that area as the torso, with no evidence at all of having like a neck, facial features, or anything of that nature.
It's a creepy little thing.
It's a bizarre little cryptid, I'm telling you. Some people have described this as looking similar to like the little ghosts in the video game Pac-Man, that chase you around, because it has the little skirted area at the bottom, like it's a tiny little sheet or something. Some people believe that it looks like that Pac-Man ghost sitting on a pair of legs. I don't quite see that.
I don't either. I think maybe because its movement almost looks like it's floating in some of the videos.
Yeah.
In some parts that maybe they're just putting those together. To me, it looks like two distinct legs.
Yeah, they must be. And then I've seen like animated pictures.
Right.
And they do. They literally put the Pac-Man ghost on a set of legs and it's got little eyes and stuff. But you don't see any facial features at all in the video. And so I'm not sure how they're coming up with that. But
right.
I guess just because it kind of makes it fun. But in one of the videos, there's 2 Nightcrawlers. That's in the Yosemite one. And the larger of the 2 Nightcrawlers appears to have kind of like a webbing connected from each knee to the torso area. And then they describe that the legs are stilt-like.
Right.
So they look like, for lack of a better term, looks like long legs going into a very small head. And as they walk, they're near like bow-legged.
Like Yosemite Sam.
Like Yosemite Sam,
yeah.
yeah. With kind of a swinging waddle, where the one leg swings out and then the other swings out. And yet they kind of appear to be floating at the same time.
It's odd.
It's a very odd thing. So you can't really tell. I mean, a lot of people are of course, going to say it's a hoax.
Right.
I don't believe that it is a hoax. I think that there are some videos out there that are hoaxes, that people did later. But I think the original one, who would do that?
Yeah.
When we get into the origin, who would do it? What's the explanation for making something like this?
Your 15 minutes of fame?
Yeah.
Which
didn't last very long because
like you said,
he's dead anyway.
And he doesn't even give his last name.
No.
He only gives his first name.
Yeah, no fame whatsoever out of the deal. And I don't know, it's just kind of so creepy that I can't even imagine like coming up with the concept of this.
Because I could see if he was appearing on video, like when he gave his reports.
Yeah, if he's on television shows.
Right. Yeah, and then now he's making T-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe this guy.
Right.
But no, he doesn't do that. He doesn't go on.
He didn't get a dime out of this, I don't believe.
He only does an interview, but not like a video one. And then he doesn't give his last name. So nobody knows really who he is.
Yeah.
Besides his name, his first name.
I don't know. The whole thing's just kind of bizarre. And there's not been a lot of sightings of this either. So, but when we get into some of the sightings in the accounts, I think that it lends some validity towards these things actually existing.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so let's start with the origin and how these night crawlers came to be. There's two possible scenarios. During research, we've read both accounts of this. And I mean, and this is not a large discrepancy. This is like minutia.
Right, it's minor.
But just so we can go on record as saying that it could be one or the other. It kind of depends on which one of these you want to believe. On November 5th of 2007, a resident of Fresno, California, which is kind of like the Central Valley of California.
Yep.
His name is Jose. He's got no given last name, right? So there was anonymity.
Yeah.
Which also lends credibility to the fact that he didn't want any notoriety.
Right. He's not trying to get that 15 minutes of fame.
Right, exactly. He is woken up by his dog's barking, and he sees what is now known as the Nightcrawler on his closed-circuit television camera walking across his front lawn. He's so startled by what he sees in this video that he wakes up his brother, also an unknown name, no name given at all, not even a first.
Yep.
And they rewatch the footage. So that's one account of how it went down. The second account is that Jose's dogs have been barking for several nights in a row, and as a result of the barking, he puts up cameras in his front yard to see if he can capture what they keep barking at.
Yep.
The following day, he reviews footage of his camera, and he finds this night crawler crossing his front lawn. So whichever account is accurate, the story goes on to say that Jose's brother goes outside, kind of inspects the area where they saw this ghostly night crawler, and he finds what appears to be small footprints in the front yard. At some point, and we could not find during research, how much time has passed when the investigator comes out.
Right.
So we did find, which I'm going to touch on in a second, we did find that there was an investigator that came to the house, but it was months later. So we don't know if they called the police, if this was a paranormal investigator, if this was a media person that came out. But the story goes that all evidence had been washed away before the investigator arrived. Now, again, is it the next day? Did he call somebody that night?
Right.
And when it says washed away, we did actually try and research, was it raining in Fresno? Because, it never rains in California, as the song goes. We did look up the historical weather of Fresno, and there was no precipitation on November 5th, 6th,
or the 6th,
7th.
Yeah, none of it.
That whole week, it was like 75 to 80 degrees.
Yep.
And maybe he has sprinklers. Maybe it wasn't even in dirt. Maybe the little footprints went across a wet lawn.
And then in the driveway, those
and
wet footprints were there and then obviously dissipated as 20, 30 minutes went on.
So we never really got the full account or detail on the footprints and why they were no longer there or why they disappeared.
Yeah. I think back to the two different scenarios, again, like you said, there's not a huge difference in between them, but to me, it's a little combination of both. The guy's dogs are barking, so he's probably worried about maybe his car getting burglarized or something, and pulls up a video or mounts cameras.
Right.
And then he hears his dogs barking in the middle of the night and wakes up. I think it's kind of a combination of both.
I'm sure it is.
Because that's, if you heard your dogs bark in the middle of the night and you had specifically put up cameras, you're not going to go, I'll just check it out the next day. You're going to pop up and check your footage to make sure your car's not getting broken into.
Because he's obviously worried about something.
Something, yeah, exactly.
And he's probably not thinking Nightcrawler or Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, he's not thinking about that floating pair of pants going down the driveway.
Yeah, he's definitely thinking that, somebody's there to either steal something or whatnot. He's going to catch these people.
Yep.
And what he catches is this ghostly set of pants walking across his yard. So Jose, after viewing this video footage, and he and his brother are probably just beside themselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
About what could this even possibly be? He's so horrified that he begins sharing his video with Univision television affiliates, which is basically it's just a Spanish channel.
Mm-hmm.
And he contacts them, shows them the video, and then he also contacts a paranormal investigator by the name of Victor Camacho. Camacho is a host for a supernatural radio show called Los Desvelados, which apparently means, and I don't speak Spanish, but I think it means like the sleepless ones.
Right.
And so he's got his little program, and Jose decides, he's got to share this video with people. He's got to get to the bottom of it. I mean, he's actually freaked out about this, So Univision reaches out to Camacho. They request that he reviews the video on air, on the television program. And they were asking him, which I'm not sure why they would make this jump,
Right.
But they're asking him to declare the Nightcrawler as an extraterrestrial being. And again, why do you make that jump?
Views. It's got to be for views.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say, it's an unknown cryptid of some sort, or a creature, an unexplainable creature. I don't think I'd jump immediately to alien, but that's what Univision wanted. They wanted him to declare it as an alien, but Camacho, obviously being somewhat wise to this, he refuses to make that confirmation just due to like the graininess of the footage.
Which to me just lends validity to Camacho and his investigative skills in general. Like he could have promoted his show a little more, gone on TV, spoke about this, but he chose the right path and said, no, based on this footage, I can't make that assumption. I can't declare that on TV that, my name's at stake here.
Right.
So to me, that just makes him more credible as a
I totally agree, because he could have gotten some kind of, notoriety out of the deal just by jumping out there. I mean, a lot of people are going to do that. That's why people hoax, right?
Yep.
Get your 15 minutes of fame and then it's debunked and everybody thinks you're a jerk for doing it, but you still got out there, and got your name.
A couple more listeners on your radio show and you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I guess nothing comes of this, right? So Univision, we couldn't even find, did they or did they not air the video? We know it was out on YouTube. It went a lot of different places, I'm sure, but I don't know that it actually went out on the airwaves on television. But our research shows that a few months later, Jose is still so disturbed by this whole Nightcrawler incident, which who can blame him?
Right.
Because if you're not hoaxing, if I set up a camera to try and catch Bigfoot in my backyard or something, for whatever reason, who cares? And I caught a set of pants walking across my backyard, I think there's an actual reason to be in fear.
Oh, yeah.
At that point.
Because you don't know what it is or what its intentions are.
Yeah. And it's so unexplainable. At least a creature, if it was Bigfoot, you'd still probably be afraid. But in the back of my head, I would be thinking, I have a firearm, I can shoot that thing. If he's trying to break into my house, I'm going to unload on it.
What are you going to do to a pair of pants?
What are you going to do to a pair of pants? Try them on? Exactly. I mean, I don't know. So anyway, the bottom line is he's freaked out. And so he personally contacts Camacho, and I guess he kind of, grills him. Hey, do you have any further information on this? Is there anything that you've learned of these? Have you been able to put anything together?
Well, now you got to think too, if his dogs bark at it every time it goes by.
Oh, every time your dog barked from this day forward.
You'd be peeing your pants inside.
Yeah, I know. You'd be peeing your pants.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah, so anyway, Camacho's got nothing, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, because what do you compare this to?
Right.
This is the first known sighting of anything like this. And so he says, well, you know what? I'm just going to head out to your house. Let's do a little quick investigation. Of course, months later, There's nothing there.
Which, yeah, if that's what his brother was referring to earlier with when the investigator came out, it was washed away. I mean, of course it was. It was months down the road.
Months down the road, yeah. So it was kind of, I still understand why he would go out there to check
definitely.
it out, but you're not going to find any evidence 2 months later.
Right.
But anyway, he shows up at Jose's house, and he views where the creature was initially seen. And again, there's no further evidence, and there's no further information to be gained, so he ends up leaving.
To be honest, if he went out the next day, there would probably be nothing.
Probably wouldn't have been anything in this particular case. But, if Jose's brother found the footprints, I mean, because it doesn't even say it's feet, right?
Just a small footprints.
Yeah. And when you look at the video, it looks like just pant legs going straight down the ground. I didn't see any feet
or
shoes.
Are they just circle shaped? Are they oval shaped? Are in the shape of a shoe? Or
that's what it looks like too in the video. Like it would just be circular.
Yeah.
Like a little peg leg or something that comes down with no foot on it.
And maybe, washed away, maybe it's not rain. Maybe it's, the sprinkler system goes off in the morning or something. And now it was only in the grass and boom, it's gone.
There's enough things that could occur to destroy. I mean, just wind. Yeah. I did notice when we looked up the weather that there was about an 8-mile-an-hour wind. So let's say the little footprints were in the dirt.
Yeah.
Well, the wind would blow the dirt around and cover up the footprints.
Yeah, because how much of a depression is a pair of pants making? Yeah. It's not like a bear coming through.
And it looks like it's like floating over the surface, so.
Yeah. And are these clear impressions, or is it like a sweeping motion from the way it's moving?
Yeah, like dragging through.
Exactly.
Yeah. No idea and no evidence and
no description as to how detailed
I don't believe
it is.
anybody's going to ever know from this point forward. But Camacho still feeling like, maybe there is something to this. In 2008, he takes Jose's footage to a UFO conference where it completely sparks debate about whether it's real, whether it's a hoax. Was this thing a cryptid? Is it an alien? And no one there at this conference ever actually came up with any opinion as to what it was.
Yeah.
Like a collective opinion. So you got some saying hoax, others saying, no, And why would the guy do this anyway? To me, that's the big question.
Especially if you're not giving out any personal information to get that quote-unquote fame.
Right. And he didn't even take it in. Camacho took it in.
Exactly.
And so it's not like Jose was there saying, look what I got,
And it makes sense for Camacho to do it because that's what he does.
That's what he does.
He's a supernatural investigator, paranormal investigator.
And so he's going to try and get the opinion of
experts in their fields on the subject. Why
collective minds.
Yeah, exactly.
But no one can agree.
No.
And so everybody's looking at it going, I don't know. This is just too bizarre. The video falls under just a ton of scrutiny at this point. And again, some saying it's a hoax. Others believe that it was completely authentic. And the video to date has never been proven a fake. You know how they always take videos and go to the, Harvard or there's always some university that has, like a photographic institute or something.
Yeah, some video engineer
and
goes over it and...
Yeah, they're using all their equipment, to verify authenticity or to see if something's been CGI'd or whatever. And to date, the video has never been proven to be fake.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes to me.
Yep.
If nobody can come up with the fact that it's a fake. Jose never asked for any notoriety. Camacho, a supernatural paranormal investigator, goes to a UFO conference and no one can come to a conclusion, then I don't know. I think it's kind of leaning towards it's real.
Yeah, it's a valid video.
Yeah. So even Camacho's opinion, based on what he saw on the video and based on the interview with Jose, he feels the incident was real. He believed that Jose was actually at this point in fear for his safety. And when you kind of get into, like Camacho's little report on the deal, he had taken the story to a local paper, which is the Fresno Bee, and he is quoted as saying, quote, he, meaning Jose,
Yep.
he didn't even want to go out of the house. He stayed home for a couple of weeks. And then there was obviously some other banter going on here. Yeah. And then he ends the quote by saying, "It wasn't possible that someone tried to make this video just to fool you or the TV station," end quote. And so, if your paranormal investigator believes that, I think that there's validity to it.
Yeah, especially, again, when the television show came to, or the, TV station came to him and said, "Hey, can you come on saying this?" And he denied it.
Right.
Because he wanted to do his own investigation and go from there. To me, that adds more validity to his belief in him talking to Jose, seeing how scared he was, and then going and telling the Fresno Bee about it.
Right. And then I don't know, the Fresno Bee printed that quote, but I haven't seen the article.
Right. Same.
And so I don't know what their opinion of the whole thing was, But I didn't see that in our research, and I guess that's something we should have probably tried to look at, but I didn't. Anyway, the bottom line here is the original footage from his closed circuit television camera is lost. It's nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Of course, there's copies of the video, and they remain in circulation. You can look it up on YouTube right now. And the video itself is only about 18 seconds.
Something like that,
15 to 18 seconds, something like that. And there's not much to it, and it's not real clear. But again, somebody is filming the closed circuit TV to get a copy of it.
Right.
So it's not the original. And we don't know how good the original is. He did make the comment that it was too grainy for him to have an opinion to be able to go on the air with.
Right.
But I think there was some degradation of the video by making a copy of it. Like using your iPhone to film your television, you're not getting the same clarity that the television gave you.
Right.
Right. So
now back in 2007.
Yeah. Not
2008.
back in right. Exactly. It's a lot better nowadays. But so that's all we got is a copy of his video that's out there on YouTube. If you watch that, it's very bizarre.
It's weird.
It's just nothing like you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
This little pair of pants walking across a yard, but it's weird. But unfortunately for Jose, he is now deceased.
Yep.
And that original copy is gone. I don't know if anybody, I know people have to know his brother, but we don't know who the brother is. Couldn't reach out if we wanted to try and find any more evidence on it, or if they ever returned, or if there's anything further to the story. There's just no way to know at this point. So also during our research, they're trying to make comparison to another incident. I am not buying it. We're going to throw it out there.
Yep. Might as well cover it.
It because people may say, "Oh, didn't you know?" We know, but I'm just not one that's going to buy into this one. But they say there is a similar cryptid or /alien somewhere in Ohio. So research shows that on December 12th of 2014, so you're looking at 7 years after, the initial filming of these pants, in Carmel, Ohio, an unnamed former Marine, he's like 60 years old. He and his wife, they're driving home on Carmel Road near Carmel Church. And as they're going through a bend and kind of climbing a little bit of a hill, they crest the hill and they see a 7-foot tall, slender, gray creature run across the road and into the woods.
Yep.
And this creature is now dubbed the Carmel area creature. Well, okay, I'll buy into that.
Yeah.
You got an alien running around Ohio. That's fine.
Yeah. But
people are believing that this creature is somehow related to a Fresno Nightcrawler.
Yeah. And that's what I don't believe.
And it's just not even close.
Two different things.
If you have a pair of pants, it's too much for me, but you got a pair of pants walking across your property, right? It's got a little head, somewhere just above what you'd call the waistline. And you know what I picture every time I think of this Nightcrawler and the description of it is, do you remember back in the day, the ad for the Yellow Pages? and you had the little, let your fingers do the walking.
Oh, gosh,
and
yeah.
you had the little fingers walking, but it wasn't attached to an arm. It just kind of cut off at the wrist.
Yeah.
That's what I picture. These little, it looks like two little fingers walking across the yard, and there's just nothing above it. But how you make the jump from that to a tall, gray-skinned, extremely thin creature.
7 foot tall, too.
7 feet tall,
Yeah.
Running across the road. And then they get into the story just a little bit more. And this Marine says that he and his wife had purchased a home just outside the Fort Hill area. And shortly after they moved in, maybe 30, 60 days, something like that, after they moved into the house, they noticed that there was this circular area. And I don't know if it means like an outline of a circle or if it's a whole, like filled in circle.
Yeah.
But this circular area on their lawn stayed green at all times, no matter what, whether it was watered, no matter what the weather conditions were. The grass around it would die, but this circular area of lawn is always green. I guess in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, he must be thinking like crop circle.
Yeah, maybe.
Or something, because I don't even know why you'd make the jump to, oh, look, our lawn's green. We must have an alien on our property. I kind of don't understand it. I would think more like you got a broken water line.
You got a broken sprinkler line you got to get fixed, buddy. That's why the rest of your lawn's dead.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure why they believe that an alien is inhabiting their property and, somehow using this green area of lawn maybe as a signal home, or
maybe when he was given his interview, he was just throwing out weird stuff that's been happening.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, from doing investigations and talking to people too, that people give you information that doesn't pertain to anything.
That's true.
So maybe he was just like, the other weird thing is I got a circle on my lawn that just it won't die. I've been trying to kill it for years.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
God only knows what he's thinking, but that's part of the story, so we report it, right?
Yep.
You got the green area of lawn, and somehow, some way, he believes it has something to do with the alien.
Yeah.
Now let's take a jump. I mean, if you're going to jump, you're trying to compare a 7 foot tall, extremely thin, emaciated, gray skinned creature that's running into the woods.
You know what's on my mind?
You know what it is.
It's a Wendigo.
It's not an alien. It's a Wendigo.
Yeah, it has to be.
Exactly.
And
he is describing a Wendigo.
Yeah.
Not a pair of pants floating across the surface of the earth. He's got a Wendigo on his property.
Now, if he would have said that it was a 3 to 5 foot tall
and
then I would have started
you might
to
say gray alien,
Yeah.
right? But a 7 foot tall, emaciated, gray skinned creature, he's got a Wendigo.
It's a Wendigo, yeah.
Yeah, and he needs to be more concerned about a Wendigo than
His lawn.
his lawn
Yeah.
or a pair of pants or whatever it is that he thinks he's got.
You better start recalling
Running
some of
on
that
that
Marine
property.
training and get ready for
Yeah.
battle, because that thing.
Yeah, no kidding. And I'll tell you what, even thinking about the Wendigo, you can't kill it, right?
Well, yeah.
You got to cut its heart out. So, I mean, good luck, Mr. Marine.
Yeah.
You and your wife, and stay indoors. Don't be out in the woods, getting lured in by a Wendigo. Anyway, so that is the most we've got
Yep.
on the Fresno Nightcrawler. There's not a lot of info on it. Now, its popularity has soared
Right.
since 2007. People love the Fresno Nightcrawler or the concept of it, and they've done a million little animated videos of these little pants walking across stuff. They've got T-shirts, just like you said. I mean, this is something Jose should have been a millionaire.
Yeah.
But instead, Jose's dead, the video's gone, and other people are reaping the benefits
Yeah.
of advertising and keeping the lore alive of the Nightcrawler.
Which just proves more to me that
It's
he
real.
didn't fake the video.
No, he didn't. But anyway, let's move into some of the notable sightings.
Yeah. Obviously, the first one you just went over, that's the first sighting. The origin story is the first sighting. It's not like, mermaids or the Kraken where you got hundreds and hundreds of years or thousands of years of stuff. But so we'll get into the second sighting here. And that took place on March 28th, 2011. And it was at 0217, which is 2:17 in the morning. in Yosemite National Park in California.
Right. Now, so for anybody who doesn't know, Yosemite Park, Fresno, right? So Yosemite is just outside of Fresno on Highway 41, I think it is, or something like that. So we're talking like very close proximity.
Stone's throw.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
And there's also a little discrepancy on whether it was a security camera or a trail camera that they had set up that caught the video, which, again, doesn't really matter.
That's kind of a moot point.
Yeah,
but
some articles said security, some said trail camera. But anyway, it captures a 50-second video of 2 night crawlers, whereas the first one was just one. Jose's video was just one walking across the yard. This one captures 2 night crawlers, and they're walking really slow across what looks like either a trailhead, like almost a paved, maybe not paved, but like dirt, like made out trailhead, not like a game trail,
like
but
a compacted trail. Yeah.
Or it's an actual road. It's hard to tell because it's nighttime. So the night crawler that's leading is closer to the camera, and it looks to be a lot larger than the second one. The second one's roughly, what would you say, 5 to 10 feet behind?
Yeah, if even that, right? I mean, he follows up pretty quick. And when you say closer to the camera, the camera is shooting
from the woods.
Yeah, from the woods towards the roadway or trail, whichever it is. And so if you can picture just like walking down a trail, the little guy is on the left side of the trail, and the big guy is on the right side of the trail.
Right.
The right side,
they're both walking the same
to
way.
The camera, and they're walking the same direction. And so, because it could be shot like at an angle, could be even closer than the 5 to 7 feet.
Right.
But that's it's.
And I didn't think about it when we were watching the video, but how far apart would you? And of course, it'd just be a guess. How far apart would you, or how wide would you say that road is?
I'd go 10 feet.
10 feet max, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer, but not much if it is. I mean, it's
like an average roadway, like when you're driving down a roadway, the lane markers to the curb is usually about 11 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely couldn't get 2 cars down this.
And definitely not. So I'm thinking, 10 feet wide.
Which would probably make sense that it is a walking path of some kind.
Yeah.
Not an actual roadway, because usually those have some areas you could pull over to let cars go by. A lot of those in those areas aren't one ways, but anyway, that's really it for that video.
Now, strikingly enough, though, those things walked exactly like they did in Jose's yard.
Exactly like.
And so, if you were trying to, and I don't want to get off base, but like people try and debunk the Patterson film,
right?
And so they throw on a gorilla suit, they go out and they try and mock up, something that's similar or close to the original film. And nothing ever looks like it.
Right.
Right? This looked like it.
Yeah.
So let's say, just for fun, Jose moonlighted as a videographer, and in 2007 had the technology to do CGI on his own closed circuit television set.
Yeah.
Who could replicate that off of a trail cam?
Right.
I mean,
at
it's
2:17 in the morning.
At 2:17 in the morning, you're hanging out in Yosemite trying to replicate somebody else's video. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
And you wake up your 10-year-old to get in the smaller suit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You got to get your kid out there. Because it was too close to the other one. I would say literally that if you watched one video, watch the next video, you'd go, those are one and the same.
Right.
So to me, more credibility towards the fact this was not a hoaxed video.
And the other thing too with the Yosemite video, although they are walking, there are moments that it looks like they're floating.
Right.
And I know that we'll get into it later. Some of the hoaxers say, well, yeah, that's because it's puppeteering and it's set up, but national parks don't allow you to do stuff like that. So
yeah. Well,
who's getting up at 2:17 in the morning to do that?
Even if some nut was out there at 2:17 in the morning, puppeteering around like the redwoods and stuff, and then being able to, well, because who knows if it was a trail cam or a security cam or if it was somebody's camera and they were hoaxing.
Right.
I don't know, but that would take a lot of work to be able to move these puppets like behind tree limbs and things of that nature. I mean, there's way more work in that. And if people don't understand what I'm talking about, it's just like If you were to do a little puppet and superimpose it over something else, in order to get like shadow cast or other inanimate objects, that you're crossing over and stuff, to get them perfectly so that it looks natural,
Right.
That's a lot of work to put into a 57-second video to try and prove that a nightcrawler exists.
And back to the whole 15 minutes of fame thing, there's nothing saying who posted this video.
Right.
It's just from supposedly the Yosemite National Park security cameras.
Yeah, nobody got anything off of
That's
this.
not going to bring more visitors to Yosemite National Park. If anything, it's going to freak people out.
Right.
They're either going to think
keep you away from there.
You got walking alien pants,
Yeah.
or you got meth heads running through your forest at 2 a.m. Either way, I'm not going.
Either way, yeah. It's crazy, but
so moving on, in 2018, a gal by the name of Susan Slaughter, who they had her on the thing I watched listed as a paranormal investigator, her and several other investigators were reviewing the footage on what looked like a YouTube program called The Dark Zone. At the end of the video, none of them come to the same conclusion. They all had their own opinions. A lot of them were inconclusive. One guy said it, I believe one guy said it was real, or he thought it was real, and then one guy was like, yeah, it's fake.
Yeah.
But most of them were...
I know one of them said basically what I was just saying. Who would go to this extreme
Yes.
to try and fake this? What's the point?
Because he pointed out if it was just a CGI video where you got the thing and you set up your own CGI, the branches, and it's just...
Right.
It's so much.
Yeah, it's too much. And so, yeah, he believed it could be real, yeah.
So Susan goes on to say that if it wasn't for her own personal encounter, she probably would have thought the video was bogus. But back in 2015, she was visiting Yosemite National Park, and she was out at night, and in the moonlight, something caught her eye. And when she looked over, she saw walking in the river what appeared to be 2 legs with what she described as an armless figure walking bow-legged. So
Just like, like the other videos.
Exactly. So she further describes it as having wishbone shaped. So all I could think of is if you were to saddle a horse, for anybody who's saddled a horse, if you get up on a horse and then you get off but keep that same leg shape, is how she's describing it, with an elongated torso and a humanoid shape head.
Yeah, which literally describes videos 1 and 2.
Yeah. She has no video of it, but of her account. But she says in her review of the 2011 footage, if it wasn't for my encounter, I would have said, this is, what did she say? Hoo-ha? She called it hoo-ha?
Right.
Yeah. She would have said it was fake. But having that personal encounter, she's like, yeah,
I've seen
the
same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
In the same national park.
Yeah.
So that's that account. Moving on, in 2017, unnamed source took video of what appeared to be a nightcrawler, and this was in Poland. Video's got no details as far as the location in Poland. There's no date, no timestamp like there is in the Yosemite video. There's no descriptive info really whatsoever.
Yeah, and as I recall, this guy's like using maybe like an iPhone or something to film it.
Exactly. It's either a phone or a
so
handheld.
It's not like a stationary camera
right.
that's been set up.
Yeah, because if you had a handheld camera, usually those always put I guess I'm talking from 90s and early 2000s, so I don't know what they're like now, but usually they throw a timestamp on there.
You can do a timestamp, but you can also remove them. But this particular video had no timestamp, and it kind of appeared that he's using just like an iPhone or something.
Yeah, and it's a really shaky video too, and I don't know if that's because if he's scared or if it's to add, maybe he's hoaxing the video and it's to add to the hoax, not allowing you to see it. I'm not sure, but it looks like a tall, mostly legs going into a torso, but the head on this one looked a little different. To me, it looked like it was small, hooded-like head, whereas everyone else describes them as having just a normal shaped head.
Yeah, little humanoid head sitting on a torso kind of thing. But this one did look like it was wearing a hoodie or something.
The other thing with this one too is it was very stiff-legged, unlike either the flowing bow-legged ones in the other 2 videos. Yeah, this one was very stiff and straight and rigid.
Yeah,
moving.
If you've ever watched, and I don't want to offend anybody, but this is just like a comparison. If you've ever watched video of like the Gestapo in Germany.
Oh yeah.
When they did the goose step, I think they used to call it. when they were marching and then they'd turn and, Heil to Hitler.
Right.
And it was that straight-legged march where they kick their legs up,
Yeah,
That's
it looks
exactly what this
it does.
was.
It looks exactly like that.
Looked like a Nazi soldier walking through the forest or something.
To me, watching this video, it was either a hoax or something else because it just didn't look like or move like the other two videos.
Yeah. So it was all legs, no torso, hooded head, similar, I guess, to the two original videos, but it didn't move the same
The movement,
at all.
The movement is what gets me.
So I would chalk it up to a hoax.
Yeah.
But it could also be some other creature that he's discovered in Poland. Or maybe because it's in Poland, it does walk with that goose step.
Yeah, maybe that's just tradition over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the most recent sighting that we found took place April 25th of 2020, and actually not far up the road from us in Billings, Montana.
Yeah, just a couple hours down.
Which I had no idea until researching that was the case. But another unnamed source posted a video from a home security camera, and this one actually has audio to it as well. You can hear vehicles going by and what sounds kind of like some muffled grunts coming during the kind of when the cars pass.
Right.
It's about when you hear them.
Yeah, it kind of goes like,
Yeah.
You're hearing these little weird noises. Yeah.
And you could see, large propane tank in the yard as the vehicle goes by. And then the headlights illuminate what initially looks like a nightcrawler on the right side of the video, kind of walking into frame and then walking out of frame is what it looks like.
Yeah, and it literally is just like a second or two.
But to me, when you look at it, if you play the video back and forth, to me it looks like you could see two heads and you see a little bit of eye sheen or eye shine, whatever you call that. And it kind of looks like two bucks that are sparring. And the grunts, when you think about, because I read through the comments, because at first I didn't notice it. And then I read through the comments and a lot of people were like, that's clearly two deer fighting. One guy even said that, hey, I'm an avid outdoorsman and hunter. Those are the sound, because when I first watched the video at home, I was watching it in bed and I didn't have any sound. And when I watched it with you, I had the sound. And the guy said, those are deer. Those are two bucks fighting. Having that in mind, watching the video, when you look at it closely, you could see those eyes. And to me, what looks like two heads.
Yeah. Sometimes when you have something placed in your head, like when somebody says something, it can sway your opinion. Right. And so when I first saw the video, I thought, oh, look at that. It's a nightcrawler popped into the scene. And then as soon as you said, it might be two deer fighting, and all of a sudden, that's all I could see was two deer. And then clearly that is the, I hunt.
Yeah.
They were deer.
Yeah.
And so that one, unfortunately, was not,
Yeah.
in my opinion, not
Same.
a night crawler. That was definitely two deer fighting in the guy's yard. And they just got into frame for that split second,
Yep. Supposedly, there was a deer carcass found nearby the following day. Now, the only thing I could find was a thing saying reports showed that a deer carcass was found, but I could never find the actual reports showing a dead deer was found nearby.
Right.
But that would lend validity to two bucks fighting.
Two bucks fighting.
One walked away, one didn't.
Succumbed to its wounds.
Which I hate to say because, I would love for it to be a night crawler.
Yeah, I'm
just
always
a few hours away. And
I'm always in favor and support of evidence of cryptids.
Yeah, but
when it's not, you got to admit it. You don't want to just run with psychosis.
Yeah. So going back to me, the Fresno video is legit and the Yosemite video is legit.
Yep.
I'm not really buying the Poland one as far as being a night crawler. To me, it's either a hoax or something else.
Yep.
And then the Billings one, it's clearly two deer fighting.
I totally agree with you. And, there's been some media coverage on this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I know the History Channel, they actually covered the story of the Fresno Nightcrawler. And I believe it was, the Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah.
It was Fact or Faked Paranormal Files. You remember watching that show?
Yeah, loved that show.
Yeah. In that particular show, the team viewed the original Nightcrawler video, and in their opinion, they deemed it as being completely unexplainable. So, everybody's going to say, oh, no, it was puppeteered, or oh, no, it's this or that. The experts on that particular program said, totally unexplainable.
Yeah.
And that's what I think.
Yeah.
It is unexplainable, which lends to the fact that it's a cryptid of some sort.
Yep.
I even read one little thing that said that the night crawlers were the protectors of the forest.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's like, oh, goodness. So maybe they're friends with the Wampus cat or something
Yeah.
too, you know. I mean, because there's a lot of stories on protectors of the forest. Most of that is Native American folklore stuff where certain spirits, you know, protect the forest and the animals and the things of that nature. And I don't think that's what these guys are.
Yeah.
And for certain, the lore of the Nightcrawler was not part of Native American folklore.
Right. If you took away the sighting in Fresno, I would say it might be true. With that gal having seen it in Yosemite and it being on video in Yosemite, it staying in the national park. If it's a protector of the forest, why would it venture off and walk across some guy's lawn in Fresno?
Right. Yeah. I agree. It's just, it's its own thing, and Lord knows what it is. It could be extraterrestrial. It could be spiritual. It could be cryptid species that we don't even have a clue what it is, but it's out there.
Or somebody took their 90s, remember those dumb pants that people would wear in the 90s, those big jeans, I don't remember what they call them, but maybe someone just took those and floated them around.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. But,
you never know. Who knows? There's all kinds of theories and explanations as to what it could be, right?
Yeah, let's go over the ones, even though we were talking about it as we were kind of making notes on it. They were like, well, should we even put this?
Yeah.
And we put it because people thought of it as a theory, but some of it to me is just absolutely bogus.
And it's comical.
Yeah.
You know, when we get to the last one, everybody should get a laugh out of that one. But the potential explanation of the Nightcrawler is one, alien, right?
Yep.
It's something not of this world that apparently doesn't have a head or a torso or arms, and it just lunks around, you know, on Earth for whatever purpose. We don't really know, but alien is the number one explanation for. Two is a new species, and I don't know who came up with this.
I don't know.
But a primate of some sort with short or no arms at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. So we got a monkey running around with no arms who walks bow-legged through people's yards. I'm not buying that.
No.
But I mean, but this is the insanity of people, right?
Yeah. Well,
you can't just say, look at that. It's a cryptid. No, it's a monkey.
It's a no-arm monkey, clearly. Yep.
It's like, come on.
To me, that's more believable to them. They have to rationalize it in some way.
It's unbelievable is what it is. But more things are that they're deer standing up. Well, you know what? In the Montana video, I think it was two.
To me, that's what it is.
Two deer fighting, and so that one's an explanation. That's
you watch that Yosemite video, then it's not that.
It's not two deer standing up in the video. They're clearly walking down a roadway, and deer don't walk bipedal next to each other, simulating bow-legged stance
and removing their arms and ears
and antlers and everything else. So deer standing up did work in the Montana case.
Yep.
I think they were deer fighting, and therefore a great explanation for that one, but not the original two videos. Some people believe that they were a pair of pants on wire, basically puppeteering.
Yep.
Making these things walk. Well, you know what? That unless you're superimposing, and again, we're getting back into, you know, they're walking behind trees. You have branches that slightly cover. That's a lot of work.
It's someone who's well versed in doing that kind of video editing.
Yeah, and
to not put your name out there and get any sort of fame whatsoever.
Right. It just doesn't make any sense. And then to puppeteer, it would literally have to be superimposed because what are they, 100 feet above the Yosemite trees, you know, with long wires trying to walk puppets down a trailhead? I mean, no, that's not what it was. And again, I'm not stupid, you know, I mean, I understand that things can be, those could have been tiny little puppets, you know, with a green screen, and then they're superimposed into you know, Yosemite, but who wants to go to all that trouble? So I'm not buying that one. A bird or a crane walking was an explanation. No, seen too many cranes in my lifetime to even remotely think that that's the case. A person wearing oversized pants and walking on stilts. Well, they weren't that tall.
Right. So maybe they're just wearing oversized pants?
Yeah, and even then. You know, what you got the little kid in them too, you know, following you.
2:17 in the morning.
2:17 in the morning in Yosemite. Yeah. No, don't buy it.
Dad's drunk again. He's got little Johnny walking down the trail with oversized pants.
Just a hoax, people. We get no credit for it. And then one of the last explanations.
It's the best one.
This one's just unbelievable. Whoever came up with this literally was high. A balloon tied to some sort of a cloth with two remote-controlled cars as the feet, moving them back and forth. And it's like, oh.
Gosh, that's good.
Yeah, you need to get a job.
Yeah, you know, that's someone who's either trying to be a goof or they're so desperate that it's not extraterrestrial or a cryptid of some kind that they're like, well, maybe if you got a couple toy cars so you can make it work.
Yeah.
Or like you said, they're high as a kite. And they're like,
or just in an insane asylum, you know, talking to their psychiatrist. So getting into, lastly, our debunking phase. In all of our other episodes, a lot of times we just flat don't debunk because we don't buy it, right? And then other episodes, I think that we did debunk, right? Like Jersey Devil, clearly it couldn't have been.
Oh, it was some of the videos or pictures and stuff. Yeah,
and so some of them are easy to debunk and some of them are not. I believe that all the cryptids that we've talked about to this point do exist. None of them have officially been debunked. Just some of the stories or how it gets to be, we can debunk. But in this particular case, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't believe you can debunk the Fresno and Yosemite one. Well, that's not entirely true. You can debunk it, but the amount of work that these people would have had to have gone through in order to make those videos just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. That's the key.
The Fresno and the Yosemite video have never officially been debunked. You know, like Ohio State University, you know, has come out and said, oh, no, this is superimposed. We've now been able to officially debunk these. None of that's happened. So nobody's been able to pick these apart. It's just a matter of their opinion of what it is. The Poland video has not been debunked, but I don't think anybody would even take the time to debunk that one.
Right.
You know, it's a handheld device, not real good quality.
Pitch black,
Pitch black, and it's just not that great.
And what's it in the frame for? 2 seconds, if that?
Yeah,
and it's shaky.
Doing the high step, you know, and it's, I would say that one's debunked, right? Even though it hasn't officially been. The Montana video may very well be debunked because I think it's two deer fighting.
Right. And you know, I don't know if that guy, I never actually, speaking of it, I don't know if the Montana guy, if he came out and said it was that, or if he just posted that and somebody else came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Nothing ever specified that, just so people know.
Right. Yeah, he never tried to pass it off as being anything other than he didn't know what it was.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
So, and then lastly, there's a YouTuber who goes by the title Captain Disillusion. And he did make a video. He is attempting to debunk the Nightcrawler legend by walking down an alley with a melon, and then he digitally manipulates the video to remove the upper portion of his body so that the melon looks like it's sitting on top of his torso. And watching the video, he's like stomping down the alley.
It looks like
clearly human legs with feet.
Yeah.
It's got the melon sitting on top of the torso area. So what he was able to effectively do was take the top portion of his body off, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So he's removed like his arms and head and stuff.
His movement looks nothing like
his movement.
It looks like someone trying to recreate the thing, but they
which
can't
is
because
exactly
they
it.
move
And
awkwardly.
he's got feet, not little rounded stubs, that are floating over the ground. I mean, he's literally stomping down the alley. And so, no disrespect to you, Captain Disillusion. I know you're just trying to literally show that how easy it is to create a hoax, but it did not look the same as the Nightcrawler videos, nor were you able to prove to me
Right.
that the original videos were fake anyway.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the Patterson film, I can throw on a monkey suit right now and walk through my backyard and you can film me.
I could shoot my phone in the sky and then go back and digitally impose something that looks like a UFO flying over.
It's very easy to hoax, and everybody knows that, which is why some people that don't believe in anything just immediately jump to, it's too easy to hoax.
It's AI.
They're all hoaxes. Well, not everything is a hoax just because you can recreate it.
Right.
And so, in my opinion, he didn't debunk anything.
Mm-mm.
What he did was he did a very poor recreation of something. What I'd like to see him do is go to Yosemite and do 2 of them floating
on one of those game cameras or security cam, whatever it is.
On a game camera, and then manipulate that and make them look ghostly, near transparent, with the type of motion that they're doing.
Right.
Then I would say, okay, he nailed it, and those must be hoaxes. But again, I just don't believe that everything is a hoax because you can recreate it.
Right.
Can recreate all kinds of things. Hollywood is great, the Poseidon Adventure and the Titanic, and we watch the ship go down. They didn't sink a $20 billion ocean liner and throw people out in the real ocean.
Right.
I mean, it's all fake, and we get it, and we understand. You can make things look real, but just because you can do it doesn't mean the original video is a fake.
Right.
And so, in my book, the Fresno Nightcrawler exists. It hasn't been debunked, and Lord knows what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have an idea as to what it is.
Yep.
So.
The other thing I noticed in the research is we never found any, or we couldn't find any just sightings of people saying, how like with everything else, it's like, there's a lot of just people saying, oh, I saw this or I saw that. It was what we gave you pretty much. That's the only sightings. It's not, there wasn't something in 2015 where a guy was like, yeah, when I was traveling over here, I saw it. Or when I was going this way, I saw it.
Right.
It's all the videos except for that one gal who said it lended credit to her because she also saw it.
Yeah. And you know what? To me, that is a good indicator that it's real.
Yep.
She saw one in real life, couldn't get a video of it, then sees a video of exactly what she saw.
Yeah.
And
said if it wasn't for seeing it.
If it wasn't for seeing it, she would have said, nope, it's a hoax.
Yep.
But she saw one in her lifetime too, and therefore, I think they're real.
Yep. Agreed.
So, all right. Well, that's all we've got on the Fresno Nightcrawlers. There is not a lot of information. It's a very bizarre little thing. If you want to see what we're talking about, hop on YouTube, type in Fresno Nightcrawler or the Yosemite Nightcrawler.
Yep.
Take a look at it yourself and come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
If you're a non-believer in cryptids, you'll say, oh, it's a hoax. And if you believe in them, you'll say, who would have even tried to do this? And that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I think we're out of time. And is there anything else that you got, Jake?
No, I think that's it.
I think we've touched on everything that we know about the Nightcrawlers. And so, if you'll stay tuned, in 2 weeks, we will be talking about another aquatic species known as the Loch Ness Monster. But we'll also probably touch on Tessie and Champ
and stuff,
and some of the others and to what those could be. So,
all right.
Until then, everybody be safe, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show and you want to help us out, then go ahead and give us a follow, leave us a review, and don't forget to turn on the automatic download button so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And as always, if you've had any experiences, stories, thoughts, comments, or questions, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email to cryptidfanatic@gmail.com. Let us know if you'd like to be on the show or just have your story featured during one of our episodes.